Hi, and welcome to my course, How to Create a Flappy Birds inspired iPhone game in Swift. My name is Ben Kane Johns. I have been an iOS and web developer for 4 years. I've also been a teacher for 4 years. In this course, we are going to cover all aspects of coding a Sprite Kit iPhone game from the ground up. We are going to start with building our ground level and making it move when we tap the screen. Then we will create a scrolling parallax background that will also move when we tap the screen. We will then create the pipes and spawn them onto the scene in a random fashion. This is a great feature of our game. It's making it a never-ending game. We will then create the main character, the birdie. We will also make it fly and flap its wings. We will add collision detection and make the game end when a collision has been detected. We will then move on to the basics of keeping score and create a game over scene to display our user's score. We will then add a play again functionality to our game over scene. We will then work out how to play in-game audio and sound effects. I will provide the necessary audio files. Then we will add some functionality to allow the users to mute or unmute the in-game audio. Next, we are going to add a custom designed app icon and launch image to our game. After that, we will work out how to monetize our game using chart boost ads. Next, we're going to connect our game up to Facebook and post a message to our Facebook timeline with a screenshot and a message of our gameplay. Then we're going to connect our game up to a Game Center leaderboard. I will be providing all the necessary artwork to build this game. All you need to do is download the image files from each lecture, and I'll let you know where and when you can download them. Now we're going to move on to talking about the prerequisites for this course. Then we'll run through a quick overview of the Xcode environment, and we'll finish this lecture by talking about the Apple Developer Program. We have a few housekeeping things to go over before we can get into the meat of this course, and that is installing Xcode. This is a very simple and easy process. All you need to do is head over to the App Store and search for Xcode and install the app. This will be the latest production version, and a rule of thumb, I always develop on the latest production version as the beta versions do have some bugs in them. After all, they are called beta and they are in a testing phase. Now that we have Xcode installed, let's start by creating a new project. With Xcode open, click on the File menu, then go to New, and then Project. In the Templates window, under iOS, then Application, select Game. Then click Next. Type in an appropriate name for your project. Make sure Swift, Sprite Kit, and iPhone are selected. Then click Next. Select an appropriate folder to save your project. Then click Create. Now we have a blank Xcode project ready to go. I'm just going to make my window fit the whole screen. Before we get into putting this game together, I'll give you a quick overview of the Xcode environment. We have 4 main panels to work with. On the left, we have a navigator panel, which shows all of our Swift files. Over to the right, we have a utilities panel, which shows attributes and settings for something that's selected in the game or the app. Down the bottom, this little black window is a console window. This is helpful for printing out information to a screen rather than having it come out onto the device when it's running. In the center displays the main part of the Xcode environment. At the moment, in the navigator panel, I have the top level project selected. So this shows a whole lot of configuration tabs and settings that we can change for our game or our app. If I select a Swift file on the left-hand navigator panel, you'll notice that the center panel will change into a coding environment. Now, we'll create a new Swift file, so we'll go File, New, and then File. Under iOS, then Source, we will select Swift file, and then click Next. Type in the name of the file. I'm just going to type in the word test, and then I'm going to select Create. So now, in our left-hand navigator panel, we have a new Swift file, and this is the contents of the new Swift file. Now we'll create a new folder, or we'll call it a group, in the navigator panel. Select the top level group, then click File, New, and then Group. Type in a name for the group and press Enter. Now we will move the new Swift file that we just created into this new test group. Click on the file and drag it up, and then let go. Now you'll see the arrows next to the test group, meaning that there is a file inside that new test group. Now we will look at our images library for this project. This is called images.xc assets, and you can tell because it's a different colored folder, it's a bright blue color. This is a library that houses all of the images that we'll use in our game. You can create a new one by clicking on the plus sign and then select New Image Set. You simply drag in the images that you want to use in your game into these little containers. You can rename that image set by clicking on the image set, then clicking Enter on your keyboard, and then typing a new name, and then press Enter. This is pretty much all you'll need to know to put this game together. To finish this lecture off, I'm going to talk about the Apple Developer Program. Do you want to be able to publish your game in the App Store? If you do, then you need to sign up for the Apple Developer Program. It costs about $100 a year, that's $2 a week. When you sign up, you get more than just the ability to publish to the App Store. You get access to Apple's Game Center leaderboards and achievements. You get the ability to test your game on a real device. You also get the ability to use Apple's Test Flight. This means you can test your game with up to 1,000 users. You get access to CloudKit storage and also the ability to put in-app purchases into your game. So if you're interested, head over to the Apple Developer website and check it out. So that's all the housekeeping done, and let's move on to the next lecture.